everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tiny Adventures in Hero Forge, where I build miniatures in, yep, you guessed it, heroforge.com, which is a service, a website that allows you to build your own miniatures, which is pretty fantastic, especially considering that this is something that I had kind of always wanted as a kid, to be able to design and create my own miniatures. And I'm still woefully behind on my 3D modeling skills, so that's something that I am remedying at present. But until then, I have tools like Hero Forge to help me scratch that itch. So I don't really have a plan for this week. I'm trying to think about what I can actually make. I'm just going to adjust my camera here a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so if there's anybody in chat and they have an idea for something that I can create in Hero Forge, then let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to grab some interesting parts and just start fooling around and making something. So let's start there. And if somebody comes up with a great idea and throws it into chat, then I can always switch over. So I'm just going to position some stuff on my desktop here, make sure that I have access to everything that I need, and then I'm going to head over into the game view, game, and then start making some stuff. All right, so I actually need to reset that weekly followers, which we did reach and exceed last week, but I was going to do that on Tuesday, yesterday, but unfortunately Tamara and I had to postpone our next It Takes Tuesdays because we were both a little busy, so didn't get around to it. All right, so here we have our base human male mini, and I gotta figure out what I'm going to do. Maybe make something with a different race, something I haven't done yet, potentially. Just rearranging some stuff here, making sure, there we go. All right, elemental maybe. Let's take a look at some of the costume bits and see what's new. Like I said, Hero Forge is constantly adding new stuff. So maybe we can get inspired by some of the new things. So it's still the medieval gown, which was there before. What about in gear or in head? Anything cool with hats? Usually the new stuff is at the top. Right, neck items have moved. Yeah, the same old shoulder pads, or same old new shoulder pads, which are actually pretty fantastic. Yeah, that's for the medieval gown again. And for gear, oh, there is a bunch of new stuff. Drums, drumstick, tear-shaped bottles, some additional different flasks and bottles. Regular bases, mounts. Let's take a look at the heroes that I got and see if there's anything we can play with here. So I started working on, here I can show you guys this. This was a, so we did the Destiny Iron Banner Titan. So this is a warlock that I had created just after they had announced Beyond Light and shown off some of the stasis powers. The warlocks get this icy staff, so I was like, oh cool, I can add that in. So I had a version of this warlock going for some time, but this was sort of where I ended up, and I quite liked them. But having learned a lot working in Hero Forge for the past few times. Hey Prip, how's it going? See you in chat there. I ended up updating this guy because I've been playing some more Destiny of late. So using horns, I really added a lot of detail to that helmet. Pose is still basically the same. I don't think I've changed it at all even. But I changed the shoulder pads. not the actual horns that you see protruding from the helmet, but all those other details around the mask, the sort of V shape, those are all made from horns that I just repositioned and folded into the helmet itself. I thought I'd give it a much more sort of exotic armor piece look. Maybe something like Sin of, was it Nezarark? I can never pronounce that one. And then I gave him some different, more detailed robes. So I quite like this guy. So at some point I might finish him. But we have our Harpygriff, we have some other stuff. Got some random other characters in there. Well, we could try doing something with the same action hero or action villain, 80s action movie character. I can take a look at the species here and see if there's anything that calls out to me. Gnomes, half-orcs. Minotaurs. Rat folk. Forest guard. Like a druid. Some undead stuff. Yeah. Rabbit folk. Let's take a look back at the gear. All yeah, I'm just looking for some inspiration on what to do. Maybe something with an orc. I haven't done an orc yet. Oh no, that's not true. I did do that orc, sort of steampunky orc cultist investigator. An archer, maybe? Maybe like an elf? Let's try that. Let's try to go for like a very, very archetypal elf archer. I'm going to go with a female elf. And just grab, those are very large ears, just grab some basics here. I'm actually going to go into the base next because maybe what I'll do is I'll use one of these large bases. Maybe not. Don't mind this one. Oh, hopefully it doesn't look like we can do any posing there. Wow. Oh, wait, advanced. All right, so if I go back to base and I just go back to the standard base, let's just take a look at some of these poses and see if we can do something interesting for an archery pose. So what I'm essentially looking at here are the legs, the lower half of the body, because that's something we don't have any control over with advanced posing. So I'm not really looking at the arms or the head or the torso because those can always change. It's more about the legs and what we can do there. So I'm just trying to picture what the pose could be. if I were to take that, it would just look odd. Right, so let's go back to the bases. Let's try it with this base. And then I'm just going to actually grab some gear. I'm going to grab the bow and arrow. This one looks interesting. Crystalline, twisted wood. It's a bit over the top for me. Carved wooden bow. Oh yeah, that's cool. And then back to all. What is going on here? Have to enter. Whoop. That's not how you spell arrow. Oh, maybe like a magic arrow. No, it doesn't come out of the hand right. There's got to be a way to do an arrow. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Let's just get rid of that spell effect. I believe in pose, advanced, bow, no, gear, bow, no, I don't want double bows. That's not what I was looking for. Just pose. Maybe I don't have the option. I go base. And then pick a pose. Oh, there we go. So you gotta pick one of these poses, or one of these, yeah, double-handed to get that arrow. Otherwise, yeah. Killstreak, how's it going? Working on a female elven archer here. Maybe just a straight up one. Oh, that one is kind of neat. Let's go with that. Advanced pose. Really? Less and less options. Summoning steed. Is that your suggestion for potentially what we could do instead of this? Because I'm flailing here trying to find something interesting to do with this this character. So if you've got some ideas, I'm happy to hear them. So summoning steed. So you're thinking maybe pose a warlock or wizard summoning something. I know that you can have steeds. I don't know if you can have them dismounted though. So that might be an issue. Let's try to figure out what we can do. Summoning steed is a euphemism. Okay. Now I get it. I was not privy to that one. What about now? All right. So let's go for clothing. Chest and try to find something good and elf-like. We can go medium armor. We can go, oh, what's this? Leafy shirt. That might be good. Oh, yeah. That is good for a wood elf. So yeah, I guess in this episode we won't be spending so much time on the posing. So maybe I'll do another one in color. No, not that. Bit too bulky at the waist there. Probably gonna have to be something leathers or wraps. That looks a little bit off. Leafy legwear. Oh no, I don't like that. The legs are cool, but it's just a bit too bulky. Yeah, it's gonna have to be something pretty skinny to keep the silhouette of that pose. Looks like robotic legs. Oh, that might be good. And then just find some good boots. I find often the shoes work better than the boots because they're a bit skinnier again. So if you're trying to make something that doesn't look super bulky, sometimes the shoes work a bit better. Let's see if we can find some, go in the opposite direction, see if we can find some sort of like knee-high boots. Those are not bad, but they do look like cowboy-esque. Sandals and shin guards. It's kind of cool. Warlock's boots. Those work pretty good for an elf. Boots with heels. What does that do to the pose? Doesn't look horrible. I'm not the biggest fan of combat heels, though. I mean, aesthetically, the the shape, especially putting the model on its toes like that. It's kind of nice, but with the pointed foot. But I think maybe, oh, maybe those, a little bit too duck-billed at the end there. Tall boots. Oh yeah, that works. I like those. All right. So now we need to grab some gloves, maybe. Marksman's gloves. I almost feel like no gloves works because those sleeves have that really interesting sort of cut appearance at the end. And if I grab any gloves, it really, oh, these don't cover it up though, fingerless. Let's see what other small gloves there are. Those would be good. Maybe even go with just one glove there. Whoops. And then just wraps on that hand. That might be cool. Is there anything we can do with that advanced pose? No, really. We're going to be really limited here. Work on the face pose. So what does Cocky do? Opens the one eye a bit more. It's not bad. She looks pretty fierce. Hey Bishop, how's it going? Just working away at a female elf archer here. Just a random character that I grabbed, started working on. All right, so we got a good base here. I think what I'm going to do now is actually go back in the body and start working on measurements. So I'm going to make her a little bit slender. Well, what does that look like? That looks pretty good. No music. Is there no music? Oh yes, my music should now be on. Tell me if it's a little bit too loud. I think last time I did this, it was quite loud. I gotta remember to turn it down when people come in from the standby screen. All right. Still can't hear it. I don't know why I have this set up to not monitor. That working? All right, so we have what I think with her head size and her body size, she seems to be a pretty young elf warrior, so it's not bad, but something to keep in mind. I like how her hair sort of flows off her arm and her back there. I wasn't going to keep those braids. We'll see what else I can do with long hair and maybe not give her a hood. Let's go to head and hair. Speaking of hair, I need a haircut. I see a haircut in my future. Oh, it shortens her hair. Not as interesting. That's the one we had before. Bangs. Not on this. Oh, maybe. Maybe. It's different for an elf. Whoa. That is definitely tangled. But that might also look good. Just a giant coffee. Oh, that looks good too. And also way more practical in combat. Or kind of a mix of the two. I do like this. All right, so let's leave that on for now. Might tone down those ears a bit. I find the elf ears are a little bit long. I'll usually go for the elemental ones. They're just a tiny bit shorter, or turned in at least. Gnome ears are a bit big. And the half-elf ears, I think, are also good enough. Those work for an elf. Maybe she's half-elven. Alright. Clothing. Chest, and then into the neck pieces. Let's see if there's like a bandana. I think the scarf is too big. Actually, it's smaller than I thought it would be, but it covers up those leaves. It's not exactly the look I'm going for. I don't think they have a good sort of bandana yet. That's not bad. Oh, that might be neat. A fur collar. Do they have like a leafy one? I mean, technically that does look leafy. Just adds to the leaves that are already there. That might be good. Or this thing, if I need to add some color, I think you can color those beads separately. So I'd say it's probably between maybe this one. Whoa. Vanished. So between this one and the fur, quote unquote fur, but I think maybe this guy. Looks good. Can't see too much of it from the front anyways. Oh, there you can, yeah. Oh, because that one's just like a choker. The fur does look pretty good. Let's keep it at nothing for now, because there is some detail there, like a collar, which is quite nice. And this detail back here on the back of the neck is pretty good too. If I don't get a cloak, that won't get covered up. So we did gloves, shoulder pads. I bet you there's a new leafy shoulder pad somewhere. Take a look at those. Leaf shoulder pads. Whoa, those are pretty crazy. That was more than I was expecting. I'm gonna ixnay those. I think maybe we're gonna have to go asymmetrical here. That one's not bad. I love this one. I use it a lot. Whoa! There is a sound effect playing. I don't know if you guys have heard it as crazy as I did, but it was like, wait, slow down. Rayasarama, thanks for the raid. That's awesome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is Tiny Adventures in Hero Forge, where I build, and you probably can't tell what that is from that angle. I build weird miniatures. Not always weird. This one is very, a very typical fantasy elf warrior with a bow. Slop down your emotes. Yeah, they came up in the overlay. I did see that some here. I don't know why there's a. I tried to change that from the bot so that it wouldn't do it unless there was like 100 emotes. I don't know. Did you put in 100 emotes? But yeah, but there they are. I can see them. Whoa, screwing up my desktop. Please refrain from sending long messages. Jeebs, I thought I changed that too. Sorry you're timed out there. I gotta reset Streamlabs Cloudbot again because I felt like I did that last time. But thank you so much. Thanks for showing up. It's great to have additional viewers in the stream. I'm just gonna keep going with this. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to tell you about what this is and what I'm doing because I know it might look very different from what you're used to seeing in either an art stream or a game stream. So yeah, so I'm creating this pose now, and I think I'm going to keep this cleric shoulder pad. It's sort of like I don't know if it's supposed to be scale mail or feathers, but I've used it for both. And I'm just going to go into the advanced pose and start messing with that because that pose is pretty locked now. We saw that I don't really have a lot of options in the advanced posing when it comes to this two-handed bow and arrow configuration, but I can scale this guy down and then twist it towards the back. And just do some tilting, some moving around. Side. There we go. Whoa, that jumped quite a bit. What? Where'd it go? Does that work? It actually does work. All right. And then just maybe adjust the tilt back a bit. Bend. Make sure that it's not cutting off her face. And that there's a bit of a lip. You can see there where it hits the arm, it's starting to clip into the arm. And I just want to use tilt to make sure that it's not clipping too much. If it clips too much, at the very least I can clip it so that these big pieces are still showing. That actually looks pretty good, like that. It still clips, but it won't be that noticeable because the more detailed layer on top isn't clipping. Yeah, so these can be used for tabletop gaming. Here, I'll just drop. This is my drop down of all the ones that I have. I've created a bunch. I created a bunch more than this, but I've deleted a whole slew of them. Sometimes they're for gaming, tabletop role-playing games. You can make them for tabletop wargaming as well, though I have a feeling that might get really expensive. But yeah, you can get these printed. You can pay them to have a service. You can pay I think it's like $8 for just the STL file if you do your own 3D printing, and I think it's also $8 if you play on I think it's either Tabletop Simulator or Virtual Tabletop. I think it's Virtual Tabletop, but you can actually buy a file and then use your own mini in the Virtual Tabletop. But yeah, so there's lots going on. It does kind of get expensive. The good news, it's already expensive. Yeah. But yeah, so if you have access to a 3D printer, you can print your own. If you don't, you can purchase them. I've purchased one model from them, but that was a couple of years ago, and I feel like they've gotten a lot better. If I go into, I think it might be just straight up to buy. Yeah, you can see here on the right, so plastic, premium plastic. I bought one at Premium Plastic for $30 and then painted it myself. They do have color plastic versions, so you can color these in Hero Forge itself, and they will print off a colored version. Now, colored 3D printing isn't as detailed as the standard premium or premium plastic stuff, so it's a bit blurrier. But if you're just looking for something to represent your character at the tabletop and you want it to be a little custom, you can totally go that route. They do look good, but if you're a miniature painter, you will definitely notice that there's a texture to the model and that there's a lack of detail. I find that that's not as apparent in the premium plastic, and the other plastic is fairly decent. It does have a little bit more of the textured lines from the printing in it. But I mean, hopefully, if I continue with this Tiny Adventures, I can get my resin printer up and running, and then do a test. Buy one of the models here. So $8 for an STL file. Or here, yeah. So compatible with Tabletop Simulator. So it is Tabletop Simulator and not Virtual Tabletop, but it's also $8, and you get a character that you can use there. There's also more stuff. You can do steel, which is crazy, or nylon plastic, which is 2 times the size. So you can make, rather than like a tabletop mini, you can see how big it is compared to a D20 there, which I think is a really great way to do sort of like a judging of scale. If you just want like almost like an action figure model, they have some images here. So you can see the standard plastic versus the nylon. And again, you can see they kind of lose a little bit of detail, maybe a lot in some cases. I go back here, I go back out to premium plastic. You can see these ones actually have pretty decent detail. And then if we go color, you can see where you start to lose a little bit of detail, gets a bit fuzzy, and then they do a side-by-side comparison between a color print and then the color preview you get in Hero Forge. And you can see that there's definitely a little bit of loss of some of that color detail, like in the bandolier, and it's not as vibrant. But it's a pretty decent representation if you just want something really quickly to represent your character and you don't want to spend a lot of time painting. Yeah, that looks like it's covered in icing or like some kind of lacquer spray. This is the official hand gesture for lacquer spray, by the way. All right, so if we're looking at our character here, I'm going to probably add some piercings after, but I wanted to just make sure that we were getting the pose right. And then we go to clothing. We got our shoulder pad, we got our gloves, We took some thin gloves so that it shows off those awesome sleeves. Cake design videos. Miniature cake design. Make these as chocolate. If you could print in chocolate, that's what I want. A 3D printer that prints chocolate. And you can make these as cupcake toppers. How cool would that be? All right, so let's take a look at mask. I don't think we'll use one. No. Head. I could give her something along those lines. I want to kind of keep the head as clear as possible because I really like the way that that hair turned out. So I feel like any of these are just going to mess with that. And I'm probably going to say niet to head decoration. So going back to our head options, or maybe it's gear. I think it's gear where we have the piercings. Yes, rings and piercings. You know what? I think there's ones over on brow as well. Those are the ones that I was really looking for. But if I make these asymmetrical again, some feathers. Maybe the feathers go better here. And then 2 rings up there. And 1 on this side. And then a nose ring. Maybe not that one. That's too big looking. Oh, that's huge. I'll seem a little bit too large. Racerama, thanks for showing up. Thanks for bringing the raid. Enjoy your food. I will, you know what I didn't do is I should have given you, where is it? I thought I had this set up to go auto. But I'm going to give you a little shout out. And then, why not the worky? Why can I not type in my own? What's happening here? Apparently I can't type in my own chat. All right, that's pretty cool. Refresh chat. I'm just trying to give you a shout out because you came in with that raid. Oh, I have to do that. Of course I have to do that. Connecting to chat. I think it's fantastic that you came by. I haven't been in any streams this week. I have been swamped with work, which, I mean, is a good thing. Some of it was space chores, I will be honest. Maybe a lot of it was space chores. Yeah, I still can't send a chat message. All right, cool. So I am not chatting. That is now a thing of the past. I'm no longer going to be able to chat with anybody. I can still talk. If you haven't checked out Racerama, check her out. She's an awesome streamer. She does some really cool stuff, some really cool art, real art, drawing art. And we've talked about that before. And hopefully we can work on some stuff together at some point and do some drawing, because I still have to do some streaming with my tablet at some point. So you've been rather quiet this week as well. Yeah, all the loves. Listen, you go enjoy your food, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully I will be able to watch some more streams this week or next week, and yeah, we will work on something at some point. So thanks again for the raid, and enjoy, and thanks again for the lurk. And I am going to get back to our punky, awesome wood elf archer here. All right, so brows is what I needed. I think that's just gonna be filled with piercings. There we go. And then we're probably going to do some facial tattoos / war paint as well when we do the color. So I'm just going to finish this off with a couple of pieces of gear. I don't want to put too much on her because I really like the sort of sleek wood elf running through the woods, not having a lot of gear. Like I don't think I would put a cloak on her. She's got her hair tied up there. So let's go with gear. Back. Yeah. What I really want is a quiver. I think that's a back item. Yeah. So either an ornate one or a plain one. It should go that way. And then we can actually choose the arrow type. And I think that actually changes the one in their hand as well. So if I pick something like, I'll keep it Elven, it doesn't change the one in the hand. But that looks good. And then side, we'll give her some kind of sword. Or some kind of shorter blade maybe. No, that looks too Roman. This looks good. Very elf-like. And then on the other side, something small as well. Maybe one of those new bottles. How big are these? Oh, that's not bad. Probably reposition that to make it look pretty good. Do we want a bandana over her mouth? Ooh, that does look kind of cool. Gets rid of the nose ring though. And a lot of her expression. But I do like it. You know what? I'm going to keep that on. Go back to gear and piercings. And just get rid of that nose ring. Probably could have kept it on, but I'm going to take it off just in case it messes with it somehow. Can I type in chat now? No, I still can't. I probably have to just reboot Streamlabs at some point, and I'm not going to do that right now. And so we got all our items. Just go into advanced posing now and fix the position on a couple of these things. So just making sure things don't clip, but that they fall fairly naturally. There's this weird little piece that's attached there, eh? Yeah, I need to kind of put that into the body. And then twist this again so that tilt. Oh, that doesn't work. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it looks, yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty solid. Maybe, there we go. Just out a bit. And then the dagger on the other side, just want to reposition it so that it's not breaking up that pose too much. Just like the fluid lines. That works. Oh, that works too. If I then slide that back in, and then down more, back more. That looks good. I like that. All right. So let's finish up with our base. So I like to use the curved rim. And I'm going to use this stone texture. And then we can decorate the base with some items. I think there might be some branches. There's leaves for sure. The branches do look a little twisted. It's not bad though. I might have to move this big one. Then items B, I was thinking about the leaves, but I might also want to try the mushrooms. Really get a lot of stuff on that base. A lot of it's behind her. Yeah, I want to go mushrooms and leaves. That looks pretty good. That looks like the right amount of stuff. Let's reposition some things so it's not too close to her feet. And it's in pose and advanced. So there are 4 sets of leaves. Of course, that's the one that's behind. Oh, there's 2 behind. Okay, so I'll leave that one there. That's perfect. Stuck a bit in the mushroom there. There we go. And then go to the mushroom. And find the one that is in the middle there and get it a little bit further away from the character's legs. Oh, this one may be 2. No, it's all right. So it must be this guy. There we go. All right. So now we're going to do some color. I'm just going to save our hero here. So I'm going to keep the stream a little short. I'm going to do some color, and then we are going to call it. I like to keep these Hero Forge ones a little bit shorter. No need to go on for like a super full 2-hour model build. I just like to fool around for an hour, create an interesting character model, and then call it a day. So right now I'm just looking at the skin tone. That one might be good. And then I'll go in. darker skin tone. But then do something interesting with the hair. Even darker? Yeah. You know what? Let's try it. Let's see what we can do. And then go into theme. Pick some colors here. Just something to start with, and then we're going to edit it ourselves. I think that's a good start. All right, and then into paints. First up, I'm going to change those leather gloves and the bandages or straps. Right. I'm going to mess around with the pants for a bit. Cloth. Grab some of these greens. See which ones fit. My eyeballs or draw balls. And then the boots, I think we're going to go with browns. So I'm going to go for wood. No, it gets rid of the nice highlight detail. That one's good. Now I'm thinking maybe of adding some brown on these straps, but some of it looks like it's just, oh, there, that might be helpful, yeah. Oh, undo that. I don't know what happened there. Oh, I see. What about these leafy greens? Too bright? That's not too bright, that might work. That's a little bit better though. Now I'm just going to check out, I think maybe slightly lighter, because it gets more detail for shadow, especially in the eyes. And back to paints. right would be interesting. Well, I don't know how I did that. But that's actually kind of cool. Maybe just even like that. I like that. That was a happy accident. And then something, yeah, get some of that brown red in the mask. Maybe in the belt. And something similar but a bit deeper. All right, well, I think that's pretty good for color. I'm going to save that again. And now, did I just change the color of the mask? No. Let's take a look at the decals. Green. I kind of like the yellow. That was a good contrast. That's good. You can do quote-unquote decals in the hair to get some color in the hair. Or do like two-tone. That might work. If we go back and change the standard hair color. Playing a lot with the greens and the reds. What if we went with like a blue or purple? Oh, I can change that individually too. That's good. Let's try to find a good base. And I can work from that. I'm getting kind of like a war dancer feel. Not, that's from Warhammer. So the war dancers had like crazy paint, war paint and tattoos, and hair dyes. That's kind of a cool look. Maybe not go as intense. What if we went with, ooh, yeah, that looks kind of neat. All right, let's take a look at what other decals we can finish this off with. So I think for the most part they are splatter or dirt effects. So maybe this one for dirt. You can change the scale and the position. scale. And then make the color brown. That gives it just a little bit dirty, weathered look. And I think she could probably use that. Let's see if that goes on her legs. Or if that won't show up because she's got clothes on. Yeah. Well, we can do the same thing to her bow. Like that. Just add some sort of texture. Makes it look a little bit dirtier. And then they do have this one that goes over the entire body. I think that's what that one is. Yeah. Oh, does it go on the base too? It does. So if we do that at the bottom and scale it. And also take that brown, then again we can get sort of like a bit of a dirt feel to it. She's a wood elf. She does live out in the woods. Yeah, we added some shrooms. And there we have it. We have our Wood Elf War Dancer. So yeah, that's our miniature for today. Hope you guys had fun. It's just over an hour, so that's pretty on point for what I wanted for the stream. And I mean, it's a pretty cool miniature made in an hour from complete scratch, from literally having no ideas. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. She looks pretty cool. So usually you can think of some kind of character backstory as you're making these. I actually like to make these miniatures when I'm making my Dungeons and Dragons characters. It gives me kind of like a almost like a story prompt to try to figure out what it is that I want to do with that character. So I just start building what they look like, and I start adding in things they have on them, and I'm like, I don't even know what these are, but I'll start thinking about it and then sort of go from there. So yeah, I think this is like a neat Wood Elf Ranger. She's got like her facial tattoos and probably has a story, and she dyes her hair in the tradition of a war dancer. Anyway, so that is it for the stream for this week. I will be back next week, and we will see how things go next week with some more tiny adventures. And hopefully we'll be back, Tamara and I will be back doing It Takes Tuesdays and doing A Way Out. We're getting so close to escaping as fugitives. So hopefully we will be back on Tuesday and be able to do that again. And I haven't updated my schedule here, but Saturdays is now 9-year-old squad leader. So we will be playing some Ghost Recon, or as I like to call it, Tropical Chores. Thanks to Bishop and the folks who told me all about Star Chores and have got me back into Destiny. So I haven't started streaming that yet, and I don't know if I will. Right now it's just my guilty pleasure. It's what I like to play. So yeah, we'll see what happens with streams. But anyways, thanks again for hanging out. Thanks again to Rhea Samara for, did I say Rhea Samara again? Rhea Sarama for the raid, and if you haven't checked her out, she's an awesome human being. Check out her stream. She streams a lot of amazing art stuff, and it's super fun to watch. She's super fun to hang out with in chat. So do that, and thanks again, and I will see you tomorrow evening. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow is the ultimate episode of Sniper Elite 4 with Pripyat. where we are going after the Fuhrer himself. We are going to be assassinating Hitler in the DLC Target Fuhrer for Sniper Elite 4, and that is going to most likely be the end of our Sniper Elite 4 stream, and then we'll have to find a whole new game for Sneaky Thursdays once again. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening, and until next time. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna raid. Let's see who needs raiding. I had a raid button set up, and I don't know if it actually works yet. Because apparently something is going on with Streamlabs. So I'm just gonna open up Twitch here and see who is on and who can use a raid. Unless you guys know someone who is in need of a raid, and I know this is gonna blast music now at me, isn't it? Or just audio in general. We are going to go check out, you know what? I think we're going to go back and check out the man who helped me out so much at the start and is a good friend, and I know that he's just started up streaming again because he had to take a little bit of a break, and that is Tamer, because we couldn't do Tuesdays, so I think we're just going to go raid Tamer. He's got 7 people in there now, and he's playing Resident Evil 3, and I still can't type in this ridiculous chat. So I'm gonna go into my creator dashboard and set up the raid there, because that's all I can do. All right, doop-a-doop, raid channel. Press that button. So much fun. Going back to camera mode, here we go. Where is he? Tamer. Start raid. He is a big scaredy cat, and so it should be really fun to watch him play Resident Evil. I'm going to jump over there and watch him for a bit, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy. I did press raid now.